Hello everyone and welcome to my morning pot analysis videos with me, Rich Market Analyst at Hantec. Markets on Monday 1st of October. Got positive sentiment through markets today. We had this deal that where it was agreed between the US and Canada over its renegotiation of the NAFTA trade treaty. The agreement has helped improve risk sentiment and has driven equity markets higher. You've got yields that are also pulling on higher. Let me show you 10-year Treasury of 308, 2 years up as well. So that's generally seen as being a positive for markets. You've got the VIX that's back lower again. S&P 500 futures are over 0.5% higher now, 0.6% higher, so there's going to be a strong opening there. And it's reflected through the equity markets of Europe. But also we're seeing a fairly sort of risk positive move with forex markets as well, the yen being the main underperformer, the Canadian dollar being the big outperformer, outperformer on that trade deal between the US and Canada, or Mexico as well, but mainly the agreements coming between US and Canada overnight, and that's generally helped the Canadian dollar much stronger today. So generally speaking, that's just pulled the dollar index slightly back, not too much, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens now, because we've had this break of the downtrend, and obviously that spike higher in the last couple of days, mainly driven by the Italian budget deficit concerns, which continue to overhang pretty much the markets in terms of sentiment. The euro is a slight relative underperformer, you could argue, but yeah, we're still seeing I think the legacy of that from last week carrying over into this week, and how that pans out with a big Eurogroup meeting this week will be interesting, I think, there for the euro. So in terms of what we've got to look forward to today, well, we've got the PMIs throughout the day. It's the first trading day of the month, so subsequently we've got the PMI data released all through throughout the world, and we've got Chinese data over the weekend was a slight disappointment. Eurozone data was again sort of just a shade under the flash reading on the manufacturing PMI for the final data. You had UK data that was better than expected. Maybe that's playing into some of the mild outperformance of sterling versus the euro today. But this afternoon we're looking out for the ISM manufacturing data at 3 o'clock, which is 60.3. The expectation, really strong numbers there, expected to still be seen. So my chance today is euro yen. Now, speaking about the fact that the euro has been weaker and the yen is now starting to sort of lose performance on the safe haven bias of the yen, whereby the markets are now more risk positive, so subsequently they move away from the yen. You can see that in the last few days, whereby we've seen the euro sort of being dragged back towards this support band. But interesting, 131.15 to 132. Now, if I just expand this out, you can see the importance of this historic importance. This is a pivot band for sort of 12 months or so. We've seen that coming consistently as the pivot, and it's helping to sort of see that market rebounding on Friday from that 131.15, bouncing back above 132. That's a positive move. You've got the momentum indicators, which are still strongly configured. Stochastics still positive, MACD lines and RSI as well, still above 60. Anything sort of corrected within this little this little rally uptrend seems to be a chance to buy, and I think it's sort of positioning for what's going to be a test of 33.50. If the politics of Italy can get themselves sorted out this week, then I can see that certainly being seen, I think, in the coming days, as the yen remains sort of the perennial underperformer at the moment, and I think the euro should start to turn a corner if that were to be seen. Now on the hourly chart you can see 32.40 is a little bit of a pivot, little bit, so pulling above that would then sort of reopen those highs again. As I said, 33.15 area resistance overhead there on the hourly chart, and I think that could easily start to be seen as that 33.15, 33.50 resistance comes into play. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I will speak to you later.